Well, here we are.
Oh, we're recording?
That we are.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, let me set the timer as well. Is that, no, I'm on timer. All right. So every 10 minutes or so, I'll get buzzed.
Okay. So here we are in
Yes.
NTI's home office garden, just two dudes who desperately need to get to the beach, apparently.
Yeah.
The mosquitoes are here, so hopefully it'll be hot enough for that soon.
Yeah.
So this will be a part of the Japan Real Estate Podcast, but will also be published on a bunch of other channels where people might not know who we are.
Yep.
So maybe quick, brief self-intro.
Oh, right on. Good call. I'm Matt Ketchum and operate something called Akiya's, which is kind of as the name sounds, an Akiya advisory, due diligence, basically everything that you need done prior to making, even if it's a cheap purchase, don't make stupid purchases. I think that should be my motto.
Definitely.
Or everybody's motto, really.
Yes.
So, yeah, I like to call it kind of branching out, but like non-standard real estate, basically anything outside of the big city, be it cheap, be it not, if it's a weird shape or larger than normal or whatever. I'm running due diligence on that type of property so that, again, when you go to make an offer, you do so with like pretty high confidence and that you're making a purchase that meets your needs.
And one of your other areas of expertise, which ties into what we're going to be discussing in a moment, is how to creatively repurpose these properties and do something actually beneficial with them.
Yeah, that's honestly like probably top two sort of like guiding what purposes or whatnot that I have, which is, a house doesn't necessarily just need to be a house. Right, you can use it. I mean, the use case that I always give is, you can repurpose it and soundproof it into like a recording studio, something like that. So being able to advise people not just on, are you buying a piece of crap or not, but rather, oh, okay, it's not a piece of crap, but you might want to use it this way and not that way, when they wouldn't have thought that previously, is also a big part of my job.
So I guess, sorry, it's turning into a bit of an interview. I guess maybe half and half, like half the people who contact you are looking for something that they can turn into a holiday home, but I guess a lot of them are also looking for something that they can do some sort of business or investment with, right?
Yeah, I would honestly, that's one, so that's like 25 of it, whereas the other half recently starting a little bit like later last year is actually owners of these non-standard or Akiya properties who just are at wit's end with how to get it off their hands. Because a lot of real estate agents and even municipal governments just won't help them, which is, boy, what a terrible position to be in. Yeah. I've got a thing that I don't want, but nobody's allowing me to get rid of it, so I'm just stuck with it. Yeah. And so with them, it's also a matter of, there's the creative thinking, but then there's also really, and we'll talk about this later as well, like the media production and the promotional side of things, whereas most, especially in Japan, because like the States has Zillow and kind of these sexified, super modern, very, IT friendly, user friendly kind of products. Because Japan doesn't really have, you got Sumo, or maybe I shouldn't say that, but you've got the major players. Yeah. And they've been doing business the same way for at least 15 years.
You're being kind.
Yeah,
it's more like 40, I'd say.
Yeah, and so there's this big issue, which is really how Akiya has even started, of it's not that these properties that haven't been purchased are garbage. Granted, a lot of them are, but the core problem is that nobody really knows what the hell they're looking at. Yeah. And so if you don't understand something, then you can't, especially when it comes to real estate and land ownership and properties, and even if it's a cheap house, it's still however many thousands of dollars, right? Yeah. It's not a small purchase. And so if you don't know what you're potentially buying, why would you buy it?
And a generic listing engine / portal, it could be focused more on family homes versus investment properties, but that's basically as far as they go. So anything...
It is that split, isn't it? It's either how much yield do I get, or can I live here with my 2 kids and wife? Yes. Kind of thing. And there's really not much in between at all. Despite, the better way to say that is there's a lot in between, but those in-between properties are marketed either as strictly investment properties, which they aren't,
Yeah.
or strictly like family properties, which they also aren't. So there's this terrible, like, what do you call that, like middle ground that is just very nebulous and uncertain.
The generic two buckets just don't work for a lot of properties. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's the issue, is that it's not that they're necessarily bad, it's that the systems that are currently in play, the two major ones, which we just talked about, don't fit what is needed for those, again, like non-standard properties.
And we hear that from our... Okay, I should probably do a self-intro myself. So, Ziv Nakajima again, Nippon Tradings International. We've been working, as a corporation, we've been working on being the, I'd say, the single point of contact for all things related to Japan real estate for all non-Japanese buyers, whether they're residing here and are just expats who don't have the language skills or the bandwidth or the expertise to figure out what they're buying and how to manage it and how to sell it. And I've also been consulting people in a private capacity. So anything related to real estate, people contact us for, and then we figure out who to put them in contact with or how to represent them ourselves. And we'll be in contact with those third parties. And when it comes to anything creative related to Akiyas, related to, again, outside the beaten path of investment versus family home, we normally defer to you, which is your expertise. So we contacted you a few months ago to help one of our clients who's based in the USA and has purchased a beautiful compound, which you'll go into the details of that in a minute, but beautiful compound in the Nagano Highlands, not too far from Matsumoto City. That was originally an onsen or natural hot springs resort. We say resort, but there's actually a bunch of buildings and resorts on the property. It's a very large property, with the purpose of turning it into it is big, isn't it? Yeah. With the purpose of turning it into a health and wellness retreat, which is what he does best. He's actually kind of famous for doing that. Unfortunately, due to personal circumstances, he was not able to continue with that project. So he's put it on the market. We helped him put it on the market. This is the general Japanese market. And he's just not getting any hits. The property is priced well enough, I'd say even very attractive.
Quite attractive.
Yeah. But again, your typical Japanese buyer browsing those typical Japanese websites where the Japanese real estate agent is listing the property is just not looking for that kind of thing. If they do, then they browse past it very easily because of the multitude of listings. So tell us a little bit about the property. You went there, you had a look at it, you inspected it, you filmed it, you looked at the documentation, you're aware of what's involved in purchasing and managing this property, if anybody wants to purchase it for a similar purpose to what he did. So what did you find when you get there?
A lot. Well, actually, a lot. Just physically a lot. It's, if I remember correctly, it's 24,000 square meters. Which I think is somewhere around like 6 acres. It's huge.
Yes.
Like, it's a massive, massive property, on which there are 4 buildings. Right. There's Mai is what the onsen ryokan is what it's called. There's Karin, which is referred to as the pension, which, for those of you who don't know, pension is basically like, called like it's, in this case, it is a ski resort, so like a ski lodge sort of thing.
It's not on the slopes, though. It's not.
No, it's what, like a 5-10 minute drive. So it's really very well situated if you're into skiing. So there's 2 larger properties, and then up the hill, there's also 2 like villas. I was calling them cabins. They're not cabins, though. They're like
they're
houses.
Standalone houses. Yeah.
Right. And 2 of those, so 4 buildings total. And so like looking just as it stands, like what it is, where it's situated, the kind of environment that it's in. I mean, honestly, it's near Matsumoto as well, which has pretty serious name brand recognition. And actually,
best castle in Japan, by the way. I love Matsumoto Castle.
I didn't go to Matsumoto Castle.
You didn't?
I felt bad.
Oh,
no, I spent too much time with the property.
But when you say ryokan, for people who are not aware of what that means, this is basically a hotel, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a Japanese hotel, basically. And I'd say most of the time, but not necessarily. Ryokan also include onsen hot springs, which this definitely has.
How many rooms, by the way?
I think it's 12 in Karin, and in Mai it's like 18. So it's like 30.
30 plus rooms. Okay, plus 2 standalone houses that can be, if we are talking about a hospitality property, these can be rented out as a self-contained single-family homestay kind of thing, right?
And I'm glad you kind of jumped in. We're going to be going all over the place, but
It's the way we do it.
there's so much to cover. And that's kind of the thing, though. The way that you worded that kind of goes back to like the standard sort of way of referring to, like, oh, it's a family house, or it's just an onsen ryokan, or like a hotel. And that's a big part of the problem, or at least issue, is, oh, okay, you said hotel, like that's everything. What kind of hotel?
Yeah.
And I've seen this happen, especially with not necessarily hotels, but like guest houses and stuff, is they don't define who they're going after.
Right.
And that's 10 minutes. All right, we're going again. Thank you also for the cut thing. So yeah, we're talking about, what do you use it for?
Right.
Because you can just say, oh, use it. Universally, just anybody and everybody.
Put it on booking.com, and if you build it, they will come.
Yeah, right. Which, I mean, doesn't necessarily not work, but like it's kind of a bad bet.
Yeah.
And so what I see.
Well, I guess because this is a unique property. It has character, and we're probably going to be attaching the videos and photos to this, so people will be seeing it as we're speaking. But this is a property with a lot of character. If you just put it out there as another accommodation option, it doesn't really differentiate it, does it?
Not at all. And I mean, honestly, if you put it out as just like another hotel or whatever, I would look at that and be like, hold up, it's like an hour's drive west of Matsumoto into the mountains.
Yeah.
Why would I go for that when I could just go for, this thing that's near Matsumoto Station?
Right.
Or whatever. So you need to be able to understand like the story and the character, like you were saying, and or construct a narrative about like, okay, yeah, there's the property itself, but like, well, why is it there? What does it do? Who wants to go there? What's the purpose? Kind of thing. And so the wellness angle, I think, is a really good one. I mean, that area, the Norikura Kogen is the name. So that's still Matsumoto, I believe it's still within the city limits of Matsumoto. Is really well known for like its particular quality of like hot spring water.
Yep.
So, which is an easy, just like, oh great, it's got good minerals. it's kind
To people who haven't actually been in an onsen, you can feel good quality water. When you come out, your skin is, I don't want to say like a baby's, but it's amazing.
There's that, and I mean, I just walk out. Actually, I was with my girlfriend the other day at an onsen, and I felt so dumb saying it because I had jeans on. And my comment to her after we got dressed again was like, I can feel my pants better.
It's true though. I feel that.
Which is like a weird statement to make in the first place, but also like extremely like that. I don't know. You're like more sensitive or something. Like I can't.
If you go with a Japanese person, they always come out, tsudu desu.
Yeah, tsudu, right. But for me, it's my pants.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that area, obviously, it's really easy to just market like, oh, it's an onsen with high mineral content or whatever, which is true. Like that's not something to joke about. It's legit.
But there are a lot of those in the area, and they're doing pretty well, right? We had a look, and the occupancy rates are looking good. The prices are looking decent.
Yeah, and even the spots. So the property that we're talking about right now isn't operational. Like it could be, just nobody's running it.
Yep.
Although actually, it does sound like once a year, like for a quarter or so, they are opening, I think it's Karin up for use.
Yep.
Maybe we should cut that, maybe we shouldn't. But anyway, it could be operational, just nobody's operating it.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just like some dumpster fire of a place, it's just nobody's using it right now. So I was staying at a nearby onsen ryokan, which was very well operated, extremely friendly staff, newly renovated. Pretty gnarly too, like my kind of, it's not just like a box that you stay in. It had like, kind of all these corridors and like, it was a nice, complex sort of thing. Also had like the outdoor onsen, which is another selling point of, it's in the building Mai also has outdoor onsen.
Yep.
Yeah, so, and it was packed. I can't tell whether or not it was sold out, but like when I was there, and this is off season.
Yeah,
too.
this is not, I was going to say, this is not onsen season at all.
Yeah, right. Which is another thing that happens in spots like this, is these areas get so focused on, oh, we're a ski resort.
Yeah.
And because of that, when there's no snow, we can't do anything.
Yeah.
Well, no, you could go hiking.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, forest bathing, or I don't know if there's rock climbing. But I mean, just because there's no snow doesn't mean you can't do anything.
It's a beautiful area.
Yeah, it's and the waterfalls, and the hiking there too, like the forests and the paths and stuff, absolutely astounding. And so that goes back to the wellness aspect, which is still a little bit nebulous though.
Yeah.
Right. Like, what is wellness? Probably to your average, like our average viewer or whatever. Wellness probably brings to mind like yoga and I don't know, vegan food.
Yeah.
or whatever.
Which, if you're that way inclined.
Yeah. Which I mean, there's no problem with that, but that does tend to be relatively like limiting, I guess. Like if you like yoga and vegan food, then go. But otherwise, wellness, why would I go there? No, there's like many ways you can do that. In fact, I speak with a lot of artists because I'm also a musician who they want the same like wellness stuff. Maybe not. Actually, there are a lot of vegan artists, so this is just a different version of the same, the same segment. But they just want to get away from and like compose, sit in the forest and think about what the next riff.
That's what comes to mind when you say wellness retreat. Like I'm going to yes yoga, but also just artist meditation, creative workspace for writers, like stuff like that, right?
Yeah, and I mean, honestly...
Or a corporate retreat, actually, come to think of it.
I was just going to say that, because what I find, because I do my own private retreats, mostly with corporate, mostly with like IT, at least adjacent companies. So they're already arguably like more creative, no offense to accountants or whatnot, but like IT is more creative than accounting, generally speaking. But that's the other thing of just getting company people out of the office and into the wild, as it were, so that they can reapproach like the problem.
So that could be either your company people, or you could market the place as a rental for companies, right?
Yeah. Right. And I mean, that's really attractive. In fact, I get a lot of feedback from the folks that I host who are saying, yeah, like HQ is saying we need to get our people out of the, like once a quarter or something. Yeah. On some kind of regular basis, get our workers and even, the C-suite and whatnot as well, out of the office and out of Tokyo or out of the big city and into the wild.
Doesn't even have to be Japanese. I think if you're in anywhere in Southeast Asia or Singapore or Hong Kong or whatnot, and you want to get your people out for like a offsite.
Honestly, I feel like that's the better angle, at least in the short term, because Japan, as wonderful as it is, does tend to be relatively conservative. Yeah. Or stuck in its ways, let's say. And so, because of the name brand of Japan, and I also think, actually, because of the problem of quote-unquote over-tourism right now, if you can focus on particular niches of, let's be blunt about it, like well-heeled, pocket, like moneyed people, and you can kind of say, well, let's call it curation. Yeah. Right? If you can do that and take them to a spot like Norikura Kogen, or like a place that isn't Kyoto or Tokyo, or like, the hot spots where this over-tourism stuff happens, that's just a win-win-win kind of situation. Like, as the operator, I mean, you're doing business, so you're going to make money off of it. Otherwise, there's no real reason to do it. There's that. The participants are getting a very unique experience, very highly curated one, which is really good. And you're also taking them to spots that arguably need the money. Yeah. Kyoto, like all these places, they don't need the money.
Kyoto doesn't want to see us anymore. Kyoto is done with foreigners.
Right. There's that, but they also don't need the money. Yeah. Whereas there's a lot of Japan that actually could use the cash if only there was somebody to guide them there. Yeah. Right. And so with the corporate thing from Singapore, Southeast Asia, and stuff like that, that is a very attractive proposition, I think.
Yeah. And walking around, you probably saw the state of the place. There's some stuff that needs work there, right? This is not a turnkey project.
No, it's even if it was pristine, it's still a big, it's 2 hotels and 2 houses. Like, come on, what do you, like, if you think that's going to be easy, then you're barking up the wrong tree, kind of thing. So far as...
and this is something you've been doing over the years a lot, is like looking at these places and seeing, well, before you purchase this, have a think about what needs to be done, right? And this is before we even talk about marketing and how to position it. We're talking about actual work.
Yeah, right. And so there's a lot of cosmetic work that needs done. Yeah. Structurally speaking, I've reviewed the documents. I've been in all of them. I've filmed it. I've photographed it. I've flown drones. I've looked at the roofs, all that stuff. I can't see anything that would say, oh, this one is just like, don't bother. It's just sunk cost kind of thing. But yeah, there's like, for example, there are some cedar baths that are pretty well wrecked, let's say. okay, that doesn't look good. You need to fix it, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, you could spend a lot of money on it. You could spend not a lot of money on it if you want.
Well, I guess the positioning, the strategy and positioning of what you are envisioning the place would look like would dictate how much you would put into each area of the compound too, right? Like if you are marketing it as an onsen place, then yes, the baths are a very important aspect of that. But if it's going to be a corporate retreat,
Right.
it could be a reasonably priced, comfortable bath, and you'll focus more on the communal spaces, right?
Yeah, there's that, and also it's not like you need to open up all 30 rooms at once.
Right.
There's a lot of properties that I've seen. I'm thinking one in down near Antami right now that are pretty cool, pretty excellent, very big investments and things like that. That's 10 minutes again. So yeah, rethinking the staging, let's say, of how to use a property is also something I don't hear very much about.
Yeah.
Because the general mindset does seem to be relatively black and white, in that, oh, it's like on and off.
Yeah.
You know, if I have it, then I have to use all of it, and that honestly is probably a pretty good way to like sink yourself.
Yeah.
Especially on larger well, investments, but also just like larger properties.
Small bites, small chunks.
Yeah. And I mean, that's one of the beautiful things with this place, actually, now that we're talking about it, is you've got the 2 villas. Those are ready to go.
Yeah.
Basically, right? You can rent those out. I mean, yeah, they need a little bit of sweeping and, kind of beautification stuff. But
Okay, so you could potentially, even before you execute your grand plan, you could potentially start generating income to cover your maintenance expenses, because that's a lot of land and a lot of structure that would need ongoing maintenance.
Straight up, just clean it up and say, hey, do you want a cabin near a ski resort?
Yes.
And then rent that out.
Start with that and then go from there, right?
Yeah, easy enough, right? And then you'd get feedback as well from the tenants that or the people staying there. You'd get good feedback on, oh, okay, here's the situation, here's the experience that I had, here's what I liked, here's what I didn't like. And then using that information, then bit by bit,
Oh,
you
actually,
can build up.
I didn't even think about that. So you test the market with some normal guests.
Yeah,
You don't
how
get
weird
into
can you get?
Yeah.
You don't know, and you don't want to
Muskets
jump
before
in the deep.
cannonballs, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right? That would be like the top cabin or the top villa. Dude, that thing is ready to go.
Yeah.
Like right now. Awesome kitchen, huge open space, like beautiful lofted ceiling, big window over the
Yeah,
woods.
I love that house. Yeah.
Really, really nice.
Yeah.
2 separate bedrooms. The only thing, there's 2 issues that I got with it, right? And they're both about the bathroom.
Yeah.
One is there's only 1 bathroom and it's on the 1st floor, and there's 2 bedrooms.
Yeah.
So you're sharing bathrooms, but in order to get there from your bedroom, you got to go downstairs, which is, not a nuisance, but
Yeah.
it would be nice if there were 2 bathrooms and they were near the bedroom. And then it's the placement of the doors.
What do you mean?
In the video that I've got, maybe you haven't reviewed it, or the specific video that I'm thinking of, because I took a bunch. So there's, what is it? There's like a closet or something, and the door opens this way. And then right next to it is the bathroom.
Yep.
And that door also opens this way. So if you open the closet door sufficiently
I've seen that in
enough-
so many Japanese houses.
Yeah, and the
people
doors
don't
just
think
knock
about
into
it.
each other. And then there's the door to the kitchen that opens this way.
That's an easy fix. Fortunately, that's an easy
Well,
fix.
number one, you just don't need that door to the kitchen. So take
True.
that out first and
Yeah.
foremost. But then, I don't know, make the doors open like this.
Yeah, yeah.
So that they don't hit each other.
Well, bathrooms as well, as long as you're sticking to the same plumbing pipelines, like if you position the bathroom right above the other bathroom,
Yeah.
that's a relatively easy installation if you have the space for it up there, which I think from memory you do.
Actually, yeah, I was just
Yeah.
thinking of that. There's
So
some
that's,
unused...
if it's a toilet, I'd say it's about $1,000,000 yen. If it's a bathroom, maybe 2,000,000 yen.
Oh, sorry. Thanks for... So it's a toilet room, and then there's the bathroom is... Oh, maybe that's what it is. It's the toilet room. It's not a closet. It's the toilet room, and then there's the bathroom that has the bathing facility.
Right.
Right. And then there's the kitchen, and all those doors kind of just knock into each other 3 at a time.
Well, replacing a bath, or a unit bath as they call them in Japan, the self-contained sort of bathroom rooms,
Right.
that's about $1,000,000 yen normally. If you have to stretch the piping to the top floor, maybe another $1,000,000 yen, I'd say.
All right, yeah, piping wise for this though, because that's a proper like bathing facility.
Yep.
It's not a unit bath. It's tiled.
Okay.
It's got windows looking out. I mean, I love that. Like, just I don't know. It's like going to the onsen when you get to just being naked outside is one of the best things that anybody can do.
And the hot spring waters run to all structures?
Only to the 2 bigger ones.
Okay.
And honestly, that's the most potentially, not confusing, but like difficult is really the word that comes to mind, aspect of this property, to jump back to the onsen part, is it's actually hooked up to two separate onsen systems.
Right.
Right, and so Mai has piping from one onsen community, and Karien has piping from another onsen
Oh, that's
community.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and so in order to operate, you can operate one and not necessarily the other, but if you want to operate both, you're going to have two relationships with two separate entities.
So the way it works in Japan, there's an onsen union kind of thing, right?
Right.
So
right.
can you speak a little bit about that?
I mean, it's really what it sounds...
It's a local community that on their space is where the hot spring emanates from, therefore they're the ones in charge of the supply?
Yeah, which actually to me it's a very long-term game, but that's liquid gold.
Okay.
Onsen water,
Say more.
if you have the sengen,
Yeah.
so the well,
Yeah.
if you have access to the point of the actual onsen water coming up,
Yeah.
you can pipe that anywhere. You can sell that to anybody.
Right. You can bottle it.
I know people who have done this.
Yeah.
Right? They put it into oil tankers and ship it nationwide.
Yeah.
It's insane how much money you can make from that. But yeah, so basically it's kind of like the hot water mafia. Is really what it is. So you can have a hotel. That's fine. That's a separate conversation. But if you want to have an onsen hotel, if you want to have the real deal, right, you're going to be on the piping system.
So it's licensing first and then supply charges, right?
Yeah. Right. And if I remember correctly, it's I'm going to say it's 110,000 yen, so not much at all.
To sign up.
And here's where the critical thing is, once you get accepted.
Okay.
Once they say, you know what, we like you, kid, come on in.
Yeah.
Right. Then
there's a risk of that not being the case.
Yeah, and this is something that I actually need to review.
That's like a farmer union in Japan. I didn't realize that actually.
Yeah,
okay.
I want to say they're not all that strict,
yeah.
But I haven't reviewed these onsen unions in the area.
Yeah.
So like anywhere in Japan or elsewhere, especially just like rural areas generally speaking, they're probably not going to say, hey, you, all right, cool, just
well, especially with the foreigner aspect too, right? This is where companies like us comes in, is we need to give them the Japanese face to deal with and explain how the place is going to be run and explain that it's not...
And you guys did honestly, that was such a cool part of the whole experience with us working together on this, is there were some things that were happening in real time.
Yeah.
When I was up there and you are down, I mean, straight up.
Yeah.
I was in Matsumoto and Nagano, you're down here in Fukuoka.
Yeah.
And there were some like confusing or like uncertain or like undocumented things that we needed to discuss. And as I'm there, like trying to fix the thing, talking to you guys and say, hey, wait, it's not working. Like, what do I do now? Like, do you know who's this, or what do we do? And in real time, we had that capability of actually. Like,
we've been at it for a while.
Yeah, but that's such a wild, just like 21st century, like, oh my God, we live in the future sort of experience. So that was absolutely excellent. But yeah, you need to have almost certainly like having a Japanese, like physically, like a Japanese face.
Yep.
To run that, what do you call that, like defense for you in order to like actually get to the thing that you're trying to get to is...
Yeah, and if you're not living in Japan, then not just creating, but maintaining these relationships over time, right?
Right.
Yeah, sending them the gift once a year or making sure that they're getting paid on time or that sort of thing, yeah. Yeah,
so that's the onsen, so basically the onsen union, as you're calling it, it's a relationship.
Yeah.
It's a relationship that costs you like $1,000 a year or whatever. And if you operate, don't just take losses.
2 times $1,000 a year in this case. There's
good point. I think for maybe I'm just not remembering the price of the other one, but they're priced differently.
Okay.
And so I think for is the 110,000 yen per year plus like 40K a month. For having so it's like the membership fee and then the monthly cost on top of that. So actually it's probably more like, I don't know, $3,000 a year to actually like from, zero to I have an onsen ryokan and here's the onsen water.
Yeah.
It's probably like 3K or so. But again, you need to know that when you buy the thing, right? Don't just be like, oh boy, onsen, here's the money, give me it.
Well, you're not buying let's say we're still talking about hospitality resorts, but let's stay on that for a minute. You're not buying a hospitality resort with 18 rooms in it, thinking that you might rent out a couple of them during season.
I don't know, man. I've seen some really, for lack of a better word, dumb stuff.
Delusions, let's call them.
You did what? And then
Yeah.
So people, I mean, you know this very well. Of like, folks need some guidance.
Yeah.
When it comes to making purchases, especially when it comes to making purchases like this one, because yeah, it's in the middle of the woods. Also, it's Nagano, so it snows. Also, it's Nagano. There's bears, maybe.
Yeah. That's a thing, actually. Yes.
Yeah. You need to know how to deal with that. In fact, you probably want to know who's the local hunter with a gun.
Yeah.
So
well, relationship management
there
again,
you go.
right? Yeah.
Like, that's the thing, which I mean also bleeds into
I think when people buy in Japan, again, people who live here are aware of that. But when people that buy in Japan, they're buying into relationship, like the Western concept of, hey, I've got the licenses, I can do whatever I want. That's not going to work. You've got neighbors, you've got local unions, you've got local service providers. If you don't work to create those relationships and maintain them, you're going to be stuck.
You're going to probably crash and burn.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. All right. Yeah, you'd be stuck on that. And I still think that's not communicated. Although, like, honestly, it's complicated is what it is, right? Because I'm not, for example, you hear a lot of foreign folks and Japanese folks as well talking about, like, just generally speaking, rural areas. You're going to have to, be part of the chokai, like the local, like, neighborhood
association yeah.
sort of thing, which definitely happens. Like, that's not a thing that you should be thinking about, but it's not everywhere. I mean, like, my space down in Yugawara, like, I know all the business but like, I'm not part of that.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be, the opportunities there, but nobody's like forcing me, like, hey, when are you going to join?
Some communities can be a bit aggressive on
Some
that.
can be,
yeah.
right? But that's another thing that you need to know if and when you're going to make a purchase. It's not just, I always say, if your dream house is surrounded by assholes, then it's not really a dream house.
Yeah,
you know what
that's
I mean?
true.
And so you need to know the neighborhood, you need to know the community, you need to know the culture, you need to know, a bunch of stuff, which is...
You have chatted a bit with the neighbors that are right next door, right? You said they look nice.
Yeah, it's a great young couple. They got three kids.
Yeah.
They got a piano there. I heard them, practicing music.
And they've obviously lived next to that onsen resort before, so this is not news. It's not like suddenly going to be some foreigner rocking in and turning it into a hotel where it never was the case before.
Yeah, they're fully aware of, like, oh, that is what it is.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing. And I think that's also really welcoming too. Of like, Japan's got kind of a problem with kids. So like, oh my God, it's a family with 3 kids.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Right. So that's kind of indicative, I would say, of, like the culture maybe in the area of, and they're kind of running rambunctious, just doing what kids are supposed to do and not just sitting there being all prim and proper.
Yeah.
Which to me is like, hell yeah, kids, go like go get some cuts. Maybe don't break a bone, but like go, get dirty.
How about, speaking of getting dirty in nature, how is, so we know it's in the beautiful Nagano Highlands, there's so much beautiful nature around it, but how about the nature actually on the property itself? What sort of landscaping maintenance do you envision would be required there? Because it looked like a lot to me when I was there.
I mean, honestly, growing up, I was mowing lawns and cutting gardens and tending to all that stuff. So I'm like not unfamiliar with this. Yeah, there's a lot, but like not all of it needs tended to.
Yep.
So basically the situation is there's like Mai is here and then Karin is here. And you drive in this way. So you got the 2 big properties are like this. And then there's the hill that goes up here and you got 1-2 villas up that way. So basically, this area is more or less just like the parking, and it's kind of overgrown gravel at the moment.
Yeah.
But basically, it should be gravel.
Fairly easy maintenance.
Yeah. Right.
And then you got the forest all around you.
Yeah, but you're not going to be like tending to that. And actually, that's another good point, because it's in the national park.
Yep.
If you're gonna fell trees, you need to talk to the local government.
I wouldn't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm guessing nobody's buying it to be like a lumberjack or something.
Yeah.
But if there's, a tree that you need to get rid of, you can't cut it unless you get the okay from the local government.
Yeah.
But so far as tending, like so you got the gravel parking space here. Don't really need to do anything with that. There's like garden-ish areas around the 2 big buildings.
Yep.
So, garden those. And then with the 2 villas, really those are like, it's like dirt paths around it.
Yep.
It's not gardened. So there's really not much to do there either. So really you've got like not that much maintenance to do.
Bit of weeding once in a while.
Yeah, right. If that's like my read on it.
Okay, and I've noticed in the main resort a huge commercial kitchen needs some TLC, but that's very promising from an operational perspective, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's something that most people kind of dream. Honestly, that's one of the reasons why the ryokan down in Yugawada that I work with is so great. It's got a huge kitchen.
Yeah.
But yeah, like what the
so if it is going to be sorry, just I'm not as creative as you, but occasionally I get these ideas. So if you are going to be running it as a corporate retreat or a hospitality property, you could couple it with an added income stream, keeping in mind that kitchen and the big dining and event space. That could also be a boutique restaurant of sorts, right? Which could be a part of the stay experience, but could also be a separate business.
Yeah, and I mean, I see like over in Manazuru, this brings up a really good point. There's like rental kitchens.
Yep.
So even if, again, like it's not that it's just a hotel and you have to operate all the rooms and everything involved all at once, all the time.
So rent it out to a chef,
yeah,
and provide an extra
bespoke,
experience
like,
to
okay,
whoever.
Here's a big ass kitchen, and you can get 12 people to come and have sample the local flavors or whatever with this.
Looked like a bit
chef.
of, speaking of the event space, it looks like a bit like an old school disco kind of with a stage and everything, right?
Yeah, I dug that.
Yeah. All right. Any other complications that you've noticed in the property itself or the documentation related to it?
There was one that concerned me, but then we determined that that wasn't an issue.
Yeah.
So minus the onsen stuff, if you want to cut down trees kind of thing. Also, if you want to do any additional building, you do need to get permission. But I mean, that's for additional. So like
it's expanding got enough
the
to start with.
Yeah, it's got enough. Like, what are you doing building more?
Yeah. Okay. So if you were to envision, based on your experience with the people who are buying these kinds of properties, the ideal profile buyer or group or a few profile buyers, who is this good for? And then equally important, who is this definitely not good for?
It's really good for, at this point, I would say like corporate retreat sort of stuff. That's the easiest, most turnkey solution. I'd like to see more creative stuff go out there, but again, like the creative world is totally different from the business world.
And they have a lot less of a budget usually.
I was going to say that, yes.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, having like, fukuoka or like any big city-based, company that's doing well enough, do something out there, get your folks, by your folks, I mean like, your workers, your employees, your people, out there.
Your clients.
And your clients too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another service that you can just easily offer. It doesn't matter what you do. You could be, I don't know, a spaghetti maker or whatever, and be like, hey, you know what? Actually, we got a kitchen out there with a really good chef. Do you want to go experience our
workshops
spaghetti
and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Okay, so corporate retreats / some kind of commercial activity getaway spot.
Right.
That's one.
Yeah. It's one. The obviously the tourism aspect.
Yep.
I think is very attractive.
Anybody wants a hospitality property, but not like your single family home where you're renting out a couple of rooms. This has to be somebody who's ready to run an operation, right?
Yeah, I mean,
in the long run.
Yeah, and on that note too, the property is listed at the entire thing is listed at 60 million yen, which is, let's call it 500,000 US.
More like 420 at the moment. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, the yen is.
All right, even better.
Yeah.
To get it up and running, like super ballpark, I don't know, if you've got a budget of like, let's call it 2 mil, I think you'd probably be very much in the clear.
Yeah.
For getting everything, okay, we're good to go. I's are dotted, T's are crossed, like everything's clean. We got the onsen running. Let's make this thing happen.
And that's a really important point. We always say this about the old single-family home akiyas that people are buying, but don't expect, because when we talk about who shouldn't be buying this property, I think Shumatsu Post says this, and I've adopted this phrase. If you can't afford to buy the property twice, don't buy this. So you're buying it for 60 million yen, but you should, especially as a commercial exercise, you should be considering that you're going to be, to get it up and running, just to stay in and use, maybe double that amount. And if you want it as a commercial business, 3 times this amount, right?
Yeah, 3x, I think would be, so what is that, like?
180 million yen, so about $1.5 million to
Which is like if you're already if you're an experienced operator.
For 30 rooms, that's a steal, I would
pretty
say.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's in the ski resort. And it's got
30
onsen.
rooms plus 2 standalone villas.
Yeah, like that's pretty good, I think.
Yeah, a short drive to the ski resorts and in beautiful countryside.
Yeah,
yeah.
You know, who shouldn't be buying it though? I don't know. Like your average consumer, it doesn't make any sense. Like if you want...
It's not a family compound for you and the extended family. Unless you're a very, very rich person who would invest that much in a family compound.
I have had one client who had, drum roll, 12 kids.
30 rooms though, that need to be a pretty big family.
Yeah. So, I mean, we could play around with super extreme use cases and like arrive at a conclusion that is positive.
So hospitality, corporate retreat, what are your thoughts about... You mentioned not specifically cash-strapped artists, but somebody who is a bit more creative.
So one thing that I haven't yet been able to execute, I guess.
Creative and commercial, I'm thinking. It's a rare beast, but they do exist.
Well, and so the conversation that I've had a number of times over the years now that still hasn't turned into anything is like A-list A&R, like artist reps.
Yeah.
Usually, at least I'm American, so I talk with a lot of American musicians.
Oh, that's very clever, actually.
Yeah, so there's like, I don't know, well, maybe I shouldn't name names, but like a famous artist, whomever it is, really wants like just 2 weeks, get me away, nobody knows my face, I just want to relax, I'm going to compose, just sit around, maybe go to the local bar, just do my thing, and I don't have to worry about the paparazzi.
So their agents...
Yeah, are really interested. That comes up relatively frequently.
Right.
Still haven't done anything with it.
Yep.
But it is a conversation that happens to me. Like I don't bring it up.
Yep.
But frequently speaking with like artist reps, that's what they keep coming back to.
Yep.
Is I've got this big A-list, actor, celebrity, musician, whatever, and they just want to get away from it. All.
Yep.
Granted, again, like 30 rooms and 2 houses.
Well, but they do have an entourage. Yeah, exactly.
They got the entourage. So that would be... I mean, I don't know if I was a famous musician.
Yeah.
I'm one of those two things right now. But if I was both...
and I would be sinning to myself, and I think you, if I wouldn't mention it. I know it's an edge case, but party people, music people.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Actually, yeah, great point. On that note, though, I would want to know if the family next door is selling. Because if it's going to be like a party space, it would be very good if maybe you don't even need to buy from them. Just speak with them and like, hey, on this weekend, we're throwing a big party. Can you not, go... Honestly, I don't think that they live there. I think they own it, and it's like their weekend.
Oh, you think it's a holiday retreat for them? Oh, okay.
Right.
That's very interesting.
They've got, on that property, there's a really big one that looks like nobody's using it.
Yeah.
And then across from it, I think it's just like a one-room, not even house.
I've seen that. That looks like a shack or a
like a large shack
lodging, maybe.
Sort of thing. Yeah. That's where they were doing everything.
Okay.
I didn't see them once go into the big property or the big building.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like that's just maybe not even like a weekend holiday
their
home.
Cabin in the woods kind of
it's
thing.
It's just like, the kids want to play piano, so let's go into the woods and they can bang on it.
So if you are a high-profile party producer of some sort, potentially you could check this before you purchase. Make them an offer they can't refuse. And yeah.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah,
that would be.
So make them an offer they can't refuse. Buy that place as well, and then you're golden for that too, right?
Yeah.
Because there's nobody else for miles around that I've seen driving in.
I mean, I'm thinking really hard about it right now, and no. I think it's at least a 5-minute drive at the speed limit, which is 60 kilometers. So like 5 minutes of 60 kilometers an hour is a number of kilometers away. However,
so niche case, there's not many buyers like that, but ideal for somebody like that.
I mean, like there's, for example, you bring up, like the party thing. There's one that both of us have been to. Maybe it's not for the annual festival, like the big production.
Yeah.
But, that needs funded.
Yep.
So why not host like quarterly smaller events at a place like this.
Absolutely.
You
I
know,
agree.
like that would be really cool. And like Japan's got an excellent, like decades of history hosting like rural parties, basically.
Fuji Rock is the thing. Yeah.
Oh, and Fuji Rock is magnificently
Yeah.
produced, right? And so yeah, that's another really, it is edge, but I mean that's the kind of stuff that I want to see happen. You know?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and one other buyer profile that I would prefer would not be approaching this is somebody who's looking for big land in the countryside to demolish and build your typical ski resort hotel on, or whatever the case may be, right?
Yeah,
Like,
which might very well
it
be
might
a
make
Japanese
sense for
company.
them, but I don't want them to buy this beautiful property for that purpose. Right?
Well, yeah, and I had an experience 2 weeks ago, I think, in...
Sorry, we're doing a disservice to the seller, but
Yeah.
please don't buy this if you're planning to demolish
Straight
it.
up, like
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to you. Like, you're doing the disservice.
Yeah.
We're not doing the disservice. But like similarly, I had an experience in Numata in Gunma 2 or 3 weeks ago. A friend bought Akiya, but it's got kind of the main house and then like an atelier and then this rather large like Japanese garden in between that has not a river, but like a man-made like stream in it, and also like this really gnarly waterfall. Like they imported these rocks and or boulders, really. But I think it was abandoned for like 10 years. So it's structurally it's fine, but you know it hadn't been tended to for quite a long time. And so I went up there with my girlfriend and basically just spent the day like raking and shoveling dirt, and specifically me, like cleaning out this water. I'm like, damn it, that's a waterfall.
Yeah.
Like, oh, why is it not working? And so just like scooping all this muck out of it. And as I was doing that, I'm kind of surprised at myself actually that I hadn't kind of verbalized it, at least in my head, until that point, because I've been doing this now for like 8 years. Of like, you can find beauty in Japan if you just dust it off.
Yes.
A little bit.
Yeah, very
And
much
so
the case.
going back to like the disservice and like, oh, knocking it all down and building up just something totally new and probably like really boring.
If you just want land, you can find land.
Yeah, that's not hard.
Yeah.
You know, this is structurally sound. 2 years ago it had been, had an inspection conducted on it.
Yes.
I've checked
And it
out-
was operating until about 4 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. This thing's fine. It just needs, like you said, a little bit of TLC and a budget. But it's unique. It's interesting. It stands out. It is its own. It has its own character.
Huge potential.
Right.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that's what Japan. I feel like folks who are like not living in Japan may like mishear this or something, because I'm not Japanese. But like, Japan needs that.
Yeah.
That's part of the beauty of this place is, oh my God, like there's this very unique thing. Maybe it's a ryokan, maybe, you know, maybe it's a waterfall, whatever, right? But a lot of it just gets demolished because, you know, the ROI on some cheap build that's just cookie cutter stuff is better for the corporation that picked up the land.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're an independent operator of, you know, let's call it an SME, but like an ME, and you've got the budget to do this, you can make yourself, I mean, it's a personal branding, it's a corporate branding thing as well. You can make yourself stand out. You can offer a kick-ass service. You can really help out the local community, which everybody talks about, but very few people actually contribute to, right? There's so many upsides to just recognizing, okay, here's what this thing is. And we've got the documentation on this property to say, here's what it is. It's not just a sketch.
Yeah.
Like
It's been doing that.
Yeah, this is it. Here's what you need to know. There's, you know, the onsen community and felling trees and all that stuff. We know it, right? Just understand that, realize, okay, it's going to need a budget of 1.5 or 2 mil. If that's where you are, and that's the kind of thing that you want to do, this is a place that you can make into just such an excellent experience for everybody involved.
People keep talking about that dream of owning a piece of Japan. It doesn't come any more piece of Japan than this, right?
I would say that's not the right way of saying it. It's not owning a piece of Japan. It's being, or like developing, or like becoming, or it's not just ownership.
Yeah.
It's actually your, like, Japan is your palette and you're the artist that's making it into, you know, this beautiful thing that is its own.
That's a beautiful note to end on. Thank you.
I think that is good.